Miles Horton was the founder of the Highlander Folk School, and early on in his journals, he wrote, "You can go to school your entire life and you'll never figure it out because you're looking for an answer that can only come from the people in the life situation." Let's talk about people in life situations, about knowledge and expertise. We think of expertise as accumulation. We think of ourselves as empty containers and of education as the process of filling up. We think of experts as authorities, people who are already full to the brim. And we hear that knowledge is power, but this only means that those who control knowledge have the power to control other people. But there are other ways to know besides accumulation, ways that have to do with our relationships and our emotions, our memories, our movements. We need a more expansive view of expertise. Now, before we keep going, I should confess that I've been in grad school for 7 years now, so that might seem contradictory to what I'm saying here today. But at first, I thought I needed to validate my workplace experiences. Now I understand my education as a space to ask new questions and to look for new answers. My name is Elena Sauceda-Peeples, and today we'll challenge notions of expertise. We'll discuss educational practices, and we'll look for ways to open opportunities for folks who have been excluded because of how they know what they know. Let's start by talking about standards. They seem simple enough. You make a list of facts, use the list like a ruler, and you measure how much you know. But not everything can be measured this way. Paulo Freire writes in Pedagogy of the Oppressed that knowledge emerges through invention and reinvention, through this continuous inquiry that human beings pursue in the world, and with each other. Knowledge is made new moment by moment in a million different ways. Think of the way your hands know how to comfort a loved one, or how you solve problems by putting old things together in new ways. Think about how you move and connect and feel. To expand our view of expertise, we need to start by challenging the idea of accumulation. Knowledge isn't static and it's not easily controlled. It's dynamic, it rises to meet the moment, and it's difficult to quantify. Competition, like standards, supposes that all knowledge is objective. But competition can be exclusionary and demotivating. When educators and leaders rely on competition, they exert control by accepting only one type of expertise. Donaldo Macedo writes in Literacies of Power that the more educated and specialized individuals become, the more interest they have vested in the systems that provide special privileges. Competition is one of these systems. But as we saw in Freire, knowledge comes from interaction with the world and with others. He calls this the dialectic, a constant exchange where each new conversation, experience, feeling, and movement influences the one before. We can develop more inclusive educational practices by inviting people into dialectic relationships where different types of knowledge come together with different parts of human life. When we rely exclusively on statistics, when we say this type of knowledge is best, we reject the knowledge and wisdom of experts who have come to know by other means. That's not to say that statistics are never useful, just that they're only one way to know. Do you look for other ways of knowing? If there are no statistics or best practices available, what other knowledges, what other experts are you willing to engage? Bell Hooks writes in Teaching to Transgress that there is a need for critical thinkers to engage multiple locations, to address diverse standpoints, to allow us to gather knowledge fully and inclusively. As we invite others in, we deepen and expand what we can know and how we can know it. We open opportunities for historically excluded experts, people who, as Miles Horton put it, are in the life situation. So I invite all of you to reconsider the standards in use in your fields, to assert your own expertise, to avoid competition where you can, and to invite others into dialectic relationships instead, to ask new questions and to look for new answers. I close with this last thought. Bell Hooks writes, sometimes we're just there collectively grasping, feeling the limitations of our knowledge, yearning for that highest point. Even this yearning is a way to know. Thank you.